Welcome, welcome. Blessings, blessings, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace, and today I am coming with a special live today. Okay, so yesterday we talked a little bit about the Nolan Wells case, and then I went into segueing into an investigation I've been working on myself, highlight the Alexis Wilson project. So today what we're going to do is do a brief recap of some of the investigation findings, like a little bit of the timeline, and introduce you to the playlist that I talked about yesterday. All right, so today is a special day. Today is July 27th, and I'm going to say 5 years today, Alexis Wilson was unalived by Dalton police. Okay, so today we will be having a butterfly release. If you are interested, please come by. I left the information in our community page, as well as I say, it's going to be a beautiful event. We're fighting the tides right now, highlighting the fact that it was just a tornado. It was a tornado watch right now, so we're trying to figure out, what's going on. But with that goes to say we're staying positive, and we know about time 5 o'clock come, we're going to be ready to get this show on the road. So what I'm going to be doing right now is taking myself off the screen, and we're going to be doing a brief flashback of some of the events that led us up to today. So we're going to put on 2 videos, let it rock out for about 2 hours. I want to say thank you so much for being here with Miss Grace Levi as we honor Miss Alexis Wilson and her mother in these trying times, where we are turning a tragedy into something beautiful. So with that goes to say, let's get the show started. I'm going to keep you entertained and informed, and I'm going to break down a little bit about the Officer Carlton. I'll probably show you a little bit about that, and Officer Perez, so you can get to know who I was talking about yesterday, okay? Let's go.
Hey.
Let's get it going.
I'm going to win. We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner.
All right, y'all.
I'm going to win.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. Nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long.
I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. Live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. But nothing is perfect for anybody.
I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Hey, blessings. Y'all already see I'm having some technical issues here. And y'all already see that Grace Levi is determined. Can y'all hear me? I started talking without the mic because I literally wanted to be outside. I wanted to be outside. It's a little nice, the sun. My phone kept dying. And then the second time I had it on the charger, I told y'all, it's over here messing with me. I had it on the charger, and then it just cut off when I was talking. So I said, you know what? You can't stop the hustle. I'm going to have to put another screen in the background and just put it blurry. You're going to have to see where I'm at because the light is not covering back there. But this is a very important broadcast. So I just want to get this out there today. because it's time for us to move, okay? Let me see, can I do a blurry background? All right, let's just do a blurry background, okay? You're at my people's house. It is what it is. So, today I came here to talk to you guys about the investigation that I have been doing. I know I've been talking like a secret squirrel. I am not a true investigator, what people call investigators. I am a legal nursing consultant, and I love to research, and I love to write research papers. Who the hell love doing that? My geeky ass. Yes, I do. So I took all of that love and also the passion that I have for Miss Carver and Alexis Wilson and put it into an investigation. So I want to first try to give a shout out to everyone who is involved in the Carver Wilson investigation. Whatever they are doing at this point of time is very important. And I do ask for you guys to just continue to do what you do. You are amazing. It's appreciated. But I just want you guys to know that we are all working, but I think we're working kind of separately but equally. So I wanted to come to you guys and ask you, can you help me out? I've been working very hard as a secret squirrel. Even it was brought to our attention that this case possibly cannot be opened again. I believe that with the will of the people and continuing to push and putting out evidence-based information where the officer did not abide by the law and ask the right questions to the right entities, we can at least to get some things fixed, reevaluated, and get this push to the limelight. As you see, we've been pushing the narrative across YouTube, different YouTube content creators, to get this truth out there because it's very important. Alexis can be you, me, your daughter, anybody. This case is not just specified for her. This situation is a systemic issue, and it's not only about color, but it is a power struggle and an inadequate training issue, along with the alleged feeling of immunity. You know what I'm saying? So these issues plus more put together a dangerous cesspool that we call the policing in America. Okay, and also the tone of society. So right now, we have, the citizens have to come together to do something to at least try to fix it on a local level. So in this particular situation, I'm going to say shout out to Miss Carver. One of her main issues was how violent and how aggressive Officer Perez was. We talked about it, we showed it. What we did find out most recently is that Officer Perez is allegedly employed at Forest Oak Police Station. You did see the video that Miss Carver put out. Actually, I do apologize. Miss Carver was on that Burgundy Booth put out. That show her bringing it to the Board of Commissioners' attention about this man being employed. And it sounds like they did not know. So what I'm asking today is that people who truly want to help, and this can be anyone from around the world, because I know I have a few different people from different places, do not think that you're excluded. You don't have to be a Dalton resident, but you have to be a concerned citizen. I'm asking for you guys to take this letter that I have constructed, that I have sent to a few people in Oak Forest, elected body. So what I have done is construct a letter together that I have forwarded to the mayor, as well as the chief of police, in which I do know that he knows that Officer Perez works for him, as well as the administrator of Oak Forest, as well as a few commissioner members and advisory board members. So today I took the liberty of doing that via email, and I'm going to be following up via certified mail. This is just one of the entities that we're involved, communicating with or trying to build a path of communication with to make them aware of this situation. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to be gunning for Officer Perez because he is a danger. He's a danger to himself, he's a danger to the community, and he's a danger to any police station or association that he is associated with. As I mentioned to you guys, I truly believe, I empathize to a certain extent that this man has post-traumatic stress. And he's like a war vet type of mind. is shoot to kill, not even thinking. So this letter right here, if you support, I would like for you guys to get on the email list and be part of the Grace Levi or the Levi family, let's say, Push It team. This Push It team is going to be responsible for just emailing the letters or the situations that they support. I'm going to template. This may not stop with just this case, but this is the first case. So I'm going to have a template of a letter, and most likely I'm going to be the first person to send it, and you guys can follow up. So I'm going to read the letter that I constructed to you, and this letter is the one that I told you we sent out today. So this is an inquiry regarding Officer Ryan Perez. I am writing on behalf of myself and other concerned citizens to inquire about the situation surrounding Officer Perez's current employment at the Oak Forest Police Department. In a recent conversation, it became apparent that the county elected officials and your advisory board, along with the commissioners, may not be aware of Officer Perez's troubling history. Which has rendered him a significant liability to multiple counties. The mother of one victim, Alexis Wilson, who was tragically murdered by Officer Perez, has brought serious concern to the light regarding his presence within your police department. During the board, who's that? My stepdad yelling. He never this loud. That's why I will go live at this time, because they just be loud. I do apologize. Back to the letter. Where was I at? Okay, I do apologize. The mother of one victim, Alexis Wilson, who was tragically murdered by Officer Perez, has brought serious concern to light regarding his presence within your department. During the board and commission meeting on July 31st, 2024, shout out to Burgundy Blue for capturing that. Included is a list of a few of the cases associated with Officer Perez that reveal a concerning pattern of excessive force and ongoing wrongful death lawsuits. Notably, his score is an 89.68 on the final eligibility registry, approved by the Board of Fire and Police Commissioner, may have overshadowed raising further questions about his suitability and continued service in law enforcement within your department. He did good, and I do apologize if you heard a lot of yelling in my background. I can't tell people to not talk in their house, so I do apologize. So now, given your department commendable record and demonstrated by your report showing 0 complaints in 2022, I trust that maintaining this standard is a shared priority. It is crucial to ensure that the potential liabilities are addressed to protect the community and continue to reduce the number of firearm-resistant reports. Moreover, it is important to highlight Officer Perez's involvement in the largest excessive force. I was going through it that day.
I'm live right now. I'm sorry, boo. Okay. Moreover, it is important. I told you I can't really, I'm trying, but this is very important. So this is for the family. So just bear with me, y'all. Okay. Moreover, it is important to highlight Officer Perez's involvement in one of the largest excessive force cases in Illinois, which resulted in a monumental $33.5 million liability for the Dalton Police Department. This case is linked to former Officer Lacey Lewis, who is facing significant federal scrutiny. Considering these serious concerns, I urge you to review and evaluate Officer Perez's employment, considering both his performance history and potential risks he posed on the community. Thank you for your attention and to this urgent matter, and I appreciate your consideration and steps you will take to ensure the safety of the residents in your community. We're looking forward to your response. So this was a letter that I put together along with several letters to other public officials related to this case and then reevaluating. So what we're doing today is having a call to action for the people who want to be part of the Push It team. That Push It team is going to get on an email list with me. All you guys going to be on that email list. And anytime that something come out that we to push and follow up with, just with your name and email address. We want them to know that other people are aware of the dangers and that you are concerned as well. So this.
All right, guys. So this was an introductory to a call to action that I had put out about 3 years ago when I learned about this incident, and I interviewed mom, and I really was taking and still is taking this investigation seriously. So this is one of the videos that I wanted to show you as we continue to go down this playlist today, where I'm gonna kind of like jump through some videos, but I want you guys to kind of get a drift of what I have been doing with this investigation. So I want to say thank you for being with Grace today. Again, we're getting ready for the Alexis Wilson butterfly release today. And while we're waiting, what we're doing is basically, bear with me, you're watching some of the playlists that I described to you yesterday. And this playlist have over 38 videos. Let me see, can I show you the playlist? And then we're going to go down to the next video. So check this out. This is the playlist that we have. Alexis Wilson, 19-year-old, unalive by an officer, death by way of cop. So we're going to go down to another video. I have a lot of videos. Do you want to hear the video about Officer Jared Carlton? Or we can do Perez, where it was really, really bad. The one I was telling you, where he was in a hospital and the guy peed on the floor. He tried to electrocute him and all of that stuff, okay? I think we're going to play that. This particular video right here is Mayor Hilliard Day in the Park. And this, just before I shot this video, I came from out here in Illinois, where we actually protest Mayor Hilliard's Day in the Park. And we went there and we had our shirts, they had their shirts, and it just turned into, it went to, okay? Got a little hood that would, and I was like, please, everybody, please. So if you want to see that video, I do have that video available in real time. And today I will be broadcasting at the Alexis Wilson butterfly release. I don't think anything crazy should be happening when we just waiting for the tornado to go away. So let's just watch this. Let's see which one is this. Unhinged, abuse of power, or Tiffany Henry. Okay, let's talk about Jared Carlton maybe, or let's talk about Jared Carlton, because this gentleman that we have on the screen right here is Perez, the one I told you that unalived himself. I think Perez is more interesting right now. Exposing abuse of power. Let's watch to get to know who Ryan Perez is. This was the officer who unalived himself after being basically found not guilty for killing about 4 people. As I mentioned, you can get away with it today, but it does not mean that your conscience has let it go. So let's watch this and learn a little bit about Officer Perez.
So my sister actually used my
Before his untimely death, this was something that I explained to you guys yesterday, where mom went to Indiana police station. I think it was Oak Forest, where we had made them aware that they had a possible killer cop coming to their town. So this is the clip of her going there in person.
Because she was afraid that you wouldn't let me speak. I'm Cara Wilson. I'm Wilson, killed by Dalton, Illinois police. At the time that my daughter was killed.
Actually, this is the breakdown of who is Officer Perez. So let's just watch this together, okay, guys? Shout out to Alexis Wilson. This is in dedication to Alexis Wilson real-time live investigation that I have been working on for the last 4 years, and I want to bring it to your back to you guys' attention, because I'm on my last ditch effort with getting these officers fired. So this is the officer that committed suicide, and we're going to learn a little more about him. Okay, thank you for stopping by. Please hit the like button.
Tiffany
Get us back into the algorithm today.
They did do the right thing by killing my 19-year-old child. Not only did she not
in Jesus'
take those
name
words back, she didn't offer her condolences. She's never said anything. The first thing she did was hire this group of security guards to surround her and PR. So the real reason Tiffany has security is hiding from accountability about what she said about Alexis Wilson when she was killed. Now, if you watch the coverage of this murder, these officers violated her rights, reached in her car, jumped in her car, and put 7 bullets in my child. 2 in her head and 5 down her side. And the next day, you guys tried to spin it like she did something. Watch the video. She did nothing to deserve this. And again, last time they brought up Alexis, she's doing what she does now. Look this way, look that way, every way, but at the person talking. You don't give a damn, and you never did. and you never acted like it. She called out a whole press conference to call my daughter a criminal, and Homewood Flossmoor graduate with no criminal record. But Tiffany, you have one because we used your mugshot to protest in front of your house, and that's why you hid it. That's why you have security. So let's tell the truth, which I know you're incapable of. I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth is true.
We'll start with a quick
Thank you.
flashback.
Alexis,
Bolton Politics Board Meeting, January 2019. The fight for body cams.
Troll lies, but Chief coming. Thank you, Mayor, Madam Clerk, trustees, and fine citizens of Dalton. In our continuing effort to try to push this police department into the 21st century, part of that is in trying to improve our technology. And also transparency. We were talking about transparency earlier. And oftentimes when there's an encounter with a police officer, there's a question that remains of what actually happened. The version from the citizen or the violator, and also the police officer's version. So what we have been doing over the past year is exploring the introduction of body-worn cameras, or generic terms, body cams. And in today's times, everyone is aware that there are body cameras that exist. In Illinois, I'm not sure how many departments we have that wear body cameras, but there is a wave coming across that it probably at some point in our lifetime, it'll be mandated that police officers wear body cams. We would like to introduce body cameras to our police officers so that we can maintain that level of transparency.
Now, we have to take note that when we started doing this investigation, this was happening in real time, and this police department didn't even have accurate body cam footage at one point, okay? And this was just a little bit before Alexis Wilson got killed, so it was such a blessing that they pushed this through, because we would have never got evidence of what really happened.
Also that so that we can reduce our exposure to liability due to false claims or fictitious claims, and also to keep our police officers honest on their encounters with the citizens out there. We have piloted a camera program over the last with a company called Intrinsic, and some of that video evidence that has been collected has been very valuable to us when it comes to prosecutions and also when it comes to citizen complaints against police officers. We use that data. Gave each of you a small packet that has Patrol Eyes. This is the actual company that we're looking at that has been introduced to us through the company called Intrinsic. Intrinsic is a software company. They do not make the hardware, but they recommend the hardware. On the very last page is a quote from them on what the actual cost is. So what is very unique to the police department is our ability to buy equipment, purchase equipment, programs and software without the burden on the taxpayers through the use of asset forfeiture. So what we would like to do is use asset forfeiture to introduce these body cams. There's a substantial cost to it. However, the cost of ownership of these cameras is built out over a 5-year period, so it's more manageable.
So I just want to stop right here and give some context behind the forfeiture and what the police was allegedly doing with the forfeiture. The residents don't know to this day. There was a lot of money collected from this police department where the mayor can't even see where the forfeiture funds are going and the things that they have taken. So this was the acting chief of police before he was fired for not following the mayor, and she put in Lacey Lewis, who I talked about in that first clip, who I explained to you guys yesterday was the gentleman who was involved in one of Officer Perez's first killing. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background because there's a lot of nuances to this particular situation that happened in Dalton. So as things come up, I'm going to just try to fill you guys in on some of the drama and the backdrop.
And we do have the ability to manage this cost through our asset forfeiture program. And some of the programs that I've introduced, I always talk about the asset forfeiture. And for the citizens who are not aware of what asset forfeiture program is, is the federal government has allowed law enforcement agencies to seize property of criminals. Say, for instance, a drug dealer. We stop a drug dealer who has drugs and money. That money obviously was illegally gotten gains. So we have the ability to take that property to court and ask the court to award it to the police department. Some cases we win, some cases we do not win. But just to give you an example of what it's like is a couple years ago, we were involved in a multi-agency criminal investigation, and in excess of $1 million was seized. And Dalton's portion of that was $95,000, which we received our check a couple months ago for $95,000, which goes into the asset forfeiture account, which is strictly and mandated to be used only for law enforcement. It has to be turned back into law enforcement. You can't repair the village hall. You can't buy pens, pencils outside of the police department. You have to use that for law enforcement investigations. And that is the intent of what we'd like to do, so that we don't have to keep asking the taxpayers for more money, more money. We obviously have financial issues that we like to that we have to address, but we also like to be financially responsible as we try to move this police department forward. So I'm asking tonight if you would take a look at the quote, and if it's reasonable, I would ask for your vote so that we can pursue this opportunity.
Question for you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I asked this at the committee meeting, but it just came to my mind for those who may be thinking about this. A scenario is the police stops an individual in a vehicle. When does the camera activate upon interaction with that individual? And can you tell when that officer has turned that camera off during the middle of that interaction with that individual?
Yes. As far as Illinois is concerned, there are specific Illinois statutes that we have to follow if we decide to enact a body-worn camera program. One of the requirements is once the officer receives the initial call for service, the officer has to activate the on button to start recording even before the officer arrives on scene. One of the other requirements is that each body-worn camera has to have a pre-event buffer. In other words, it has to have a 30-second before recording before even pressing that button, so that you can basically go back in time and find out what happened 30 seconds before the officer actually activated that. One of the other requirements is that once an officer has an encounter with a person, if it is a witness, or the parents of a juvenile or a juvenile, if they are requested to turn the camera off, they have to turn the camera off. Now, all digital evidence is uploaded, and one of the good things about Intrinsic is we don't have to maintain a server to put video data on. Video takes up an incredible amount of space, and if you can imagine how much we'd be generating, we are open 24 hours a day, 3 shifts per day. That's a lot of video data. So what would happen, it would be on a cloud server. We own the data, but our data would reside on a cloud. Officers do not have the ability to manipulate the data. They do not have the ability to erase the data or alter the data in any way. In fact, anything that you do inside that program, there's an audit trail. Even if you just looked at a video, it'll say who signed in, who logged in, and just even looked at the video.
Thank you. And this was talked about at the Police and Fire Committee meeting, just so everyone's aware that this is not the first time that the committee members are hearing that. We had that at our last Police and Fire Committee meeting, which was held last month. So I'd like to make, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to let the chief move forward with the body cam patrol eyes. Second.
The motion is second to move forward with the body cams. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Muhammad?
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs? Aye. Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Motion carried 4-0. Thank you, Chief.
Officer Collins, move forward to get body cams for Dalton Police Station, which proved to be beneficial for our situation we are representing.
Good evening, and Chicago Road is back open tonight. Police did have it shut down for some time as Village Hall is just on the other side, about a block from where we're standing right now. There was a protest tonight for the shooting death of Alexis Wilson. Protesters tonight still have a lot of questions over that incident.
Back
Cell phone video provided to CBS 2 shows some of those arrests. Dalton police says the crowd crossed barriers and police lines that were set up, and that's when the arrests occurred. Protesters we spoke with say they were peacefully demonstrating on the sidewalk. It all happened near 142nd in Chicago, just a block or so from Village Hall. Several police departments were called in, including state police. We spoke with Camilla Williams, who says she was one of the people detained and released tonight.
He told me I was arrested for disturbance. So I got some disturbance charges, and I feel like my rights to protest was infringed on.
Step out of the car. Police were called to a fast food restaurant in July where workers said Alexis Wilson in the red van wouldn't leave and was threatening workers with a weapon in the drive-thru. The passenger in the car got out, but Wilson did not. Surveillance video shows that she drove off and dragged one of the officers.
Hello everyone, Asgai from Drinking Gourd. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to revisit Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois. Tiffany has come under a lot of fire lately for her spending and potential cover-ups of sexual allegations. But when digging, you find a whole lot more. Today we're going to talk about a potential police execution cover-up. This story is all about a 19-year-old girl shot at point-blank range by Dalton police officer Jared Carlton. This incident occurred in July of 2021, just a few months after Tiffany Henyard took office. About a week after the incident, the Dalton police released the edited body cam footage to the public. This footage shows exactly what they want you to see, and not the whole story. To this date, the entire body cam footage of all officers involved have not been released by Tiffany. First, we're going to look at what was released to the public and aired on the news. Then, we'll break down what we've seen and what is not there.
The family of a woman shot and killed by Dalton police speaks out as video of that deadly encounter is made public.
The 19-year-old was killed just over a week ago.
Tia Ewing is live in Studio 32 with more. Tia?
Well, the family of Alexis Wilson, they question why all of the video was not released by police, and they claim she was shot 7 times at close range.
There's a person outside with a gun, and they're knocking on the caller's window.
Workers inside Baba's famous steak and lemonade in Dalton on Sibley Boulevard called for police on July 27th. At one point, the male passenger gets out. In this angle of the video released by Dalton police, you see 19-year-old Alexis Wilson hitting the drive-thru window with an object that police say was not a gun.
Yeah. Okay. I see you guys. Go get that.
The male passenger complies with Dalton police. Wilson pleads with the officers.
What's going on? I'll make you.
Well, then cover yourself up with that rope or something.
Body camera video from the passenger side shows what happens next. Wilson's family insists the 19-year-old was punched in the face by the officer.
It can be assumed that it's a punch, but I can't assume that it is, and I can't assume that it isn't.
Wilson's family questions why only portions of the video was released.
We don't have the power to pull body cam. We don't have the power to edit things. This is not a movie. You don't have the right to edit things to make it the narrative you want it to be.
The officer on the passenger side held onto the van as it crashed into this bike store. He's still in the hospital.
Our condolences go out to the family, obviously. And like I said to you earlier, that's absolutely something that no one wants. We didn't want it, and I know they didn't want this either.
A loaded handgun with an extended clip was recovered. Police don't know who that belongs to. Illinois State Police are continuing their investigation. Live tonight, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago. Natalie?
As we break down this footage, we're going to include an interview with Alexis Wilson's mother, Kara Wilson. Kara gives an account of what happened, apparently by body cam footage that she was privileged to see that the public was not. Let's take a look. We'll start off with what's known as an establishing shot. We'll call this view camera 1. Next, we go into another establishing shot, which will be camera 2. Then we have 2 officers wearing body cams, which we'll call cameras 3 and 4. Next, we have 2 more officers that arrive, which will be cameras 5 and 6. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for this interview with Kara Wilson. Let's hear her account of what she saw from the body cam.
Officers show up in force, guns drawn, surround the vehicle. They have 2 empty police cars. They pull up in 2 police cars to block her in, right? So they have their 2 police cars parked in front of my vehicle, and she's in the van in the drive-through. They come out, guns out, yelling, screaming, get out the car, get out the car. I can hear her and what I've heard her like, I'm not dressed. What do I get out for? I think she told them they took my money, they took my food. Why do I gotta get out? So she had no idea why they were even there. No idea. Now, in 52 seconds, mind you, 52 seconds, not even 1 whole minute of them asking her to get out the car, this officer holsters his gun, pulls his right arm and his right leg back and prepares to punch her. He opened her door, opened her door. Yes. And he took the step back and he prepared to punch her, to deliver those punches. So she gets hit and she goes, oh! And she's, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he punches her again. So you see her head snapping back. And this is what kills me, because the news is still reporting that they don't know if she was punched. Yet you could clearly see this man punching her in her face. So he punches her, he gives her at least 2 blows to the face. That second blow, I think she realizes she's in motion. I say that because the car kind of juts forward a little bit before she actually takes control of it. Right? And when she takes control of it, now she's like this, because mind you, he's knocked her glasses off her face. She can't see, so she's at 10 and 2 with her face out the window. So she's trying to get away. She puts her foot on the gas. She barrels through the cars in front of her. At first, she actually tries to find a way around the cars, but Puncher Man is right in this window. And so she just takes off. There was no officer in front of the vehicle. There was no officer in either of the cars. Every officer around the vehicle jumped back, except for, what is his name?
On the passenger side.
Gerard Carlton? Okay, Officer Carlton.
Remember
jumped in the vehicle. Everybody else jumps back. He jumps in.
The passenger door was open because they had taken.
Right.
Her and her boyfriend went to the restaurant. The boyfriend had gotten out the vehicle. The officer was standing between the door and the car. He was standing there with his hand on his gun. When she pulled off, he jumped into the vehicle instead of stepping back. He jumped into the vehicle before she got to the street, which was, I don't know how many feet. She was gone.
Maybe 12 feet.
She was gone.
She hit the corner. As she makes that right turn, that's when she sees him in the car with her. And this child lets out a blood-curdling scream. And he starts hitting her with bullets. He put 2 in her head and 5 down her side. She was an organ donor with no organs left to donate.
Wow.
He executed my child.
Our condolences and prayers go out to the Wilson family for their tragic loss. Now let's look at the footage and see why what is not there is more important than what is. Let's first take a look at the most important aspect of this story, the thing that led to Alexis's death. The bone of contention is whether or not she was punched. See, this video only shows an angle from Officer Carlton's body cam, camera 4. However, another view would have shown us a clearer picture as to what really happened. Let's remember the establishing shot of camera 2. It shows clearly the driver's side and the officer at the door. If there was a punch thrown, this camera would have clearly shown what happened. Let's not forget camera 1, as we can see the driver's side as clear as day. Even though we're not privileged to those angles, this angle still tells quite a bit of the story. If you look, Officer Perez on the driver's side has already holstered his weapon. His flashlight is still in his hand. Watch the light as it jumps very quickly just before her head snaps back. It's unclear which hand he had it in, but whatever motion he made caused that light to flash very quickly and all around the front seat. Also, another observation made from this footage is that Officer Carlton had already begun to jump into the vehicle before Alexis took off. He was already in the front seat before her foot hit the gas. Again, camera 1 would have been ideal for this footage. We would have been able to see whether Perez punched Alexis and exactly when Officer Carlton jumped into the vehicle. And let's not forget the officer that stepped away from the vehicle as she drove off. That was camera 6. She had a clear view of Officer Carlton and when he jumped in. The most important view is that of camera 4, when Officer Carlton jumped into the vehicle. That camera angle would have shown everything that transpired right up until the shooting. In every other case where we have a police-involved shooting and body camera footage, they show everything right up until shots fired, except here. As we can see, the lack of footage and transparency from the Dalton police and Mayor Tiffany Henyard is critical to knowing what truly happened. This is a case that demands answers. Tiffany Henyard is withholding critical information from this family and the public. Usually, a white officer killing a black civilian is national news, but no charges were filed against Officer Carlton as a decision was made from the edited version of the footage. The Wilson family and the public deserve answers.
Citizens' participation. Would anyone like to address the council at this time? Please come forward, speak directly into the mic, and give us your name for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Carl Wilson.
I'm sorry, Carl.
Carl Wilson. I'm here this evening because I thought that they might not be aware of an officer that's been hired. That officer has killed 4 people in a matter of 6 years. My daughter, unfortunately, was one of them. With my daughter's case, this officer arrived on the scene and started punching her in her face with his mag light in his hand within 52 seconds. Within 54 seconds, my daughter was dead. She was unarmed. She was 100 pounds, right? So this officer prior to her had killed 3 other people. And I went to Dalton to question, why did they hold on to an officer that has been killed this many people within a 6-year period? So what does 10, 20 years for this officer look like, right? There was an incident where he killed a man in the hospital. With all the drugs they have available to sedate someone, I don't know why that officer chose to be bullied. That officer now works for you all. He's in your town. And one night your 19-year-old daughter might go out to buy food and never come home. That's what happened. So I don't know if you all want to see the different lawsuits he's involved in. He's actually involved in that lawsuit that cost his office $33.5 million. He's got 4 other lawsuits against him. He was acquitted for one incident with a man in the hospital, but that acquittal has been overturned. So he's caused all this mess over there and cost all this millions of dollars. And of course, we have a lawsuit as well. But he's done all that over there, and now he's here with you guys. So I didn't know, as your citizens, that you all knew that. I didn't know if you knew this officer's history. So I just wanted to make your community aware that he's in your county. And like I said, he's on the force, 7 years total, killed 4 people, and he shot a 5th after my daughter returned to work and shot a 5th person. That person survived, luckily for them and their family. She had a bright future. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an educator.
My daughter was doing the same thing. She was raised in Homewood. She grew up in Homewood, Baltimore High School. She was a church. She was about to start her own business. She helped the girls. She's big brother. I've been a therapist for many children in this community, 5 years now. I have a company over in Madison where we work with children with autism. My daughter had a bright future. Good things were happening for her. And she went out for fast food one night and she just never came home.
Oh, Carla, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you for bringing this information to us.
H-A-W-N-L-I-T-T-R-I-C-E. I too am here on behalf of Alexis Wilson. I'm a community psychologist. I am also a strong supporter of the Alexis Wilson family, Cara Wilson and Alonzo Wilson, who lost their beautiful baby girl in 2021. You heard what was said before I came up here. I too am piggybacking on the comment that was made. But my question is, what are the procedures and protocols in place to examine an officer as they transfer from one place to another? And they've had a work history of working in a prior police district. Secondly, I want to know, now that this information has been brought to your attention, for those of you who do not know or did not know, what is the next step? Is there a process by which this can be examined? The information can be looked at to see what current pending lawsuits exist, and also the use of force charges that have been made in order for him to transition from the first police force. And then thirdly, is there a protocol set in place under OFORS, under this board, for there to be some kind of recall of his hiring? Those are my
So God, excuse me. I do apologize. So if you don't remember from my live last night, I basically explained to you that we figured out that he was in Oak Forest. I wrote a letter to Oak Forest letting them know everything that happened. This was prior to this particular situation. And as I mentioned to you guys, they said that he was not employed there. But something told me 10 days later to check. And when I checked, they hired him after being aware. And this is what you're just seeing is Mom and all of the people who have been supporting her, going with her to make them aware, like, hey, we know you have a killer in your midst and you have to be careful. So that's what you're seeing now. And we're kind of getting to know the storyline that I built up. And now we're going to get to know a little bit about Officer Carlton and some of the crazy things that he went through in his tenure. At least one. I made several videos. Again, what we're watching, just to show you guys, is the playlist that I have for Alexis Wilson. So today is dedicated to her. Today is actually the 5th year anniversary of her death. It happened July 27th, and we will be having a butterfly release today. So before the butterfly release, I said, let's just continue to make the audience aware of the why behind what we're doing. So let's see if we can get one of Officer Perez's crazy stories up there. And then we're going to learn about Officer Carlton. All right. History of bad behavior. Let's see if this is it. Oh, this is one of the videos that highlight who's going to take the kill shot, where people of the same police department basically unalived someone who was asleep in a car, and they said, who's going to take the kill shot? So let me see if I can. Okay, this is the update about Officer Carlton being unalive. And I was talking to Mom about this, and she said that this happened the same day that Mayor Tiffany Henyard lost her tenure, or was losing her tenure as mayor or supervisor. So let's just watch this where I make the announcement, and then we're going to watch his case. Thank you for being here, guys. Please hit the like button.
Blessings, everyone.
This has been a journey for us.
This morning. Y'all gonna ride with Grace Levi. I have to. I can't even wait to make this announcement. I could have did it tonight, but I'm like, no. All right. So
I want to start this live off by talking to the family about righteousness and about no matter what the world judge you as, God has the final say, okay? The world may accept your bad behavior. Some things may be a social norm, but that does not mean that is righteous in the eyes of God, okay? And as I mentioned, when God gets sick of things, all it has to be, it literally, boom, literally boom, and the whole situation can change. There's nothing that I can do, you can do, that will outweigh blessings H5. We got some amazing news. It's a little crazy, but it's amazing, and God is working. So as I mentioned, there's nothing that me or you can do to get revenge on people. That's why I use the power of prayer, righteousness, and the laws. The law of the land, the law of the universe, and the laws of God to govern my actions and defeat unrighteousness. Let's get it. So today I got a phone call from Miss Carver. She has been made aware that at 1:30 this morning, and I'm gonna say this. I'm not smiling, but I'm smiling. 1:30 this morning, that Officer Colton is unalive.
Well, I do apologize.
Ooh.
I fixed it.
Oh my God, Officer Carlton is talking about me. Let's backtrack that. Wait, no. Officer Perez, I do apologize. I don't wish death on nobody. Not Officer Carlton, but we coming after you because you still here. Officer Ryan Perez, that is the correction. I don't know why Officer Carlton came out of my mouth, but it's because now my ulterior motive in this is to get you next. Now, if you haven't caught it, at 1:30 this morning, Cara was made aware that Officer Perez is unalive. He was hit by a semi-truck in the eyes of death because he has family. But guess what? He didn't care about the family of the many people who he had murdered. This Thursday, we will be going over his first kill, which is Dante Johnson, okay? Where he shot him in the back. Officer Perez is unalive. The officer who punched and hit Alexis with the flashlight, escalating the situation. The same officer that we have been chasing after, and he was in Indiana when it happened. The last update that we gave you about Officer Perez was Officer Perez was not working, and I was supposed to give y'all an update. He was not working in Indiana Munster yet because he did not complete his mandated hours. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, but I had updated Mom about that. We were still keeping our eye on him. He probably was out 1 o'clock in the morning stressing, okay? They mandated him to do like 2 or 3 in-services, 1 excessive force and something, and it wasn't done yet. So he wasn't authorized to be to work as an officer or carry a gun in Indiana. Now, I don't know what was the delay, why he wouldn't do it, because it was months after, but that was the last update that I had 2 weeks ago, okay? So we still tracking him down. But this is what I want to get into too. Tell me what you think about this. Now, the people who got to know me, I got more than an 8 ball. It's not me, it's the Holy Spirit. Things come to me and I just say it and then it come out and it be the truth. And it happened since I've been a little girl, which made me an eyeball to some and made me valuable to others. So there's been a series of events that has been happening around me, and I will not go into it. But the other day, my son went out and he was driving my car. And I was really, like, I wasn't afraid, but I have in the back of my mind that this young, car accidents, things like that. And I was laying there after my prayer. I was praying because I pray heavy, guys. I'm not a talk about prayer. This is what I do. And I can really teach y'all about that. So I'm laying there after prayer and I end up dozing off. And again, I had this premonition. Now, you guys, like, oh Lord, yes. And my favorite resident actually has encountered a few times where I have said things and it has come true. So she know that this ain't no lie. I have backup. My family and everybody knows when I say stuff, it comes true. So what ended up happening is that I dozed off, and it was like I had this premonition of a semi truck hitting my son's car, or hitting my car with my son in it, and he was out. And I just immediately got up and started praying. Like I was praying like hard. You know, I'm learning how to pray using the right words and using God's words. Even though y'all see I got the gift of gab and I can talk to you guys, when it comes to prayers, sometimes those demonic forces don't want you to communicate in the spiritual world. So I've been really working on it. But this time I got up was like fire, you know, casting this into the pits of hell. You know, I rebuke it. My son will not be in no accident. You do not have any authority over me. All of the altars, the witchcraft that's being, you know, put around me, I rebuke it and I send it back to sender. So after about 20 minutes of praying, I laid back down. This was the other day. And I taught you guys about this. You know, when you have dreams that are like trying to tell you something or prophesy something, that doesn't mean that it is going to happen. That is the Holy Spirit trying to tell you that it's something going on, spiritual warfare, or giving you a warning. So again, what I have learned was that when you dream certain dreams that are negative, you need to reverse them in the dream world. So I laid back down and I finished the premonition in my head intentfully. I saw my son going through the traffic light and just making it in the semi-truck speeding by, and that semi-truck hitting somebody else. That was that came through. It wasn't that my intent wasn't for the semi-truck to hit somebody else, but my intent was to pray and to visually make myself comfortable with the situation, because I knew God was giving me a warning. Because just the other day, he gave me a warning and it came right true. My favorite resident know what I'm talking about. Know what I'm talking about. She literally lived it through with me. Okay? So, and let me make it make sense. So, because I have to tell y'all, this is how God works, because I want to show y'all how God works. Because there's nothing that we could say or do that can stop certain things. We can make things happen, work in his liking, but he has the final say. So this is the situation where my favorite resident witnessed. I was on the way home from my private duty, and she said, drive safe. I said, girl, I'm already on it, because I already had a thought, a premonition. I'm not thinking that, girl, you already know that ain't happening. So she had an idea what my premonition was. Look at this bitch about to pull out. Excuse my language. She had an idea what my premonition was. About time I got home, my fucking son had a car accident the night prior. Totaled the car. Okay, so this is some of the things that I have been going through for the last couple of years. Weird things that I believe is spiritual. If you guys don't know, I am a Levi, and I'm a repentant Levi, meaning that I understand my people's generational curses for, you know, being involved in voodoo, and, you know, I understand why they went into it for benefit. But just like most people who dib and dab with black magic, different nations, they all do it for intent to get things. So I'm not going to get deep into that, but I have repented, and there's a lot of things within me that I have that's passed down where I consider them possible premonitions. That's what I call them, because I'll get this strong anxiety, and that's just crazy feeling. But you know, I have learned to deal with that, and then thoughts will come to my head, and if it's negative, I'll pray it away, you know, just like I explained it to you. So that happened just shortly before Officer Perez was in that tragic accident. Now, what I explained to you was a real live moment that I experienced with someone, you know, close to me, where I just explained to you and it ended up happening. So, you know, I believe I believe in spiritual warfare. I believe that is real. I believe that you need to arm yourself in every which way, put on the body of Christ, the blood of Yeshua, cover yourself, and know all of the things you need to do to armor yourself, okay? So I'm not going to get deep into that, but for you who don't know, my name is Miss Grace. I am a Hebrew. I am someone who practiced by the book and lived by love. So with that goes to say, that's a little bit about me. We're not going to make it totally about me, but that was the situation, giving you a flashback of when Officer Perez was unalive. And I mentioned a few times about these different cases, and now we're going to get into these different cases. So at least one of his cases, and then we're going to move on. Let's see, Alexis Wilson Project. And again, if you don't know what I'm looking at, I am looking at the playlist that I have up on YouTube, and you guys can check it out. Alexis Wilson, 19-year-old unalive by Dalton Police. Okay, this has been an investigation that I've been working on in the background. So let me see. Do I have it? I have the Babas. Okay, this is about one of the officers' false statement. I believe there's no stopping Alexis. Okay, let me see. This is who's going to take the kill shot. Bear with me, guys. It's a few videos here. That's the Timothy McDill. All right, let me go to my page. This is what we're looking at. Let me go to my videos real quick. I think I have it's on another playlist. I do have two playlists, guys, and that highlights officers' bad behavior, and I think that's where I have it. So this is on my playlist. Dalton United under new leadership. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Thank you. Cop Watch. Okay. This is the playlist of Cop Watch. We're going to pull that up real quick. And let me see. Can I?
There's poor people around.
All right. So this is the story about the DUI, the crazy story that involved Officer Carlton. And I read the lawsuit. So we're going to watch this. And you guys going to hear how crazy it went for Officer Carlton. Again, as I mentioned to you guys, I know, I go for justice. I go for truth. I want to know, I want to make sure that the people know their rights. But I do empathize also for officers, as I mentioned to you. And this particular situation was very, very wild and out of pocket. And I know it affected Officer Carlton in a way that shifted his mindset. So we're going to watch this together. Okay, guys? Thank you for being here with Miss Grace.
The broke ass. Leader, they want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing. That only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work. No work. Y'all. I'm Cara Wilson. I'm the mother of Alexis Wilson, killed by Dalton, Illinois police. At the time that my daughter was killed, Tiffany stood in front of a microphone much like this and said that she stood with the cops and they did do the right thing by killing my 19-year-old child. Not only did she not take those words back, she didn't offer her condolences. She's never said anything. The first thing she did was hire this group of security guards to surround her and PR. So the real reason Tiffany has security is hiding from accountability about what she said about Alexis Wilson when she was killed. Now, if you watch the coverage of this murder, these officers violated her rights, reached in her car, jumped in her car, and put 7 bullets in my child. 2 in her head and 5 down her side. And the next day, you guys tried to spin it like she did something. Watch the video. She did nothing to deserve this. And again, last time they brought up Alexis, she's doing what she does now. Look this way, look that way, every way, but at the person talking. You don't give a damn, and you never did, and you never acted like it. She called out a whole press conference to call my daughter a criminal, and Homewood Flossmoor graduate with no criminal record. But Tiffany, you have one because we used your mugshot to protest in front of your house, and that's why you hid. That's why you have security. So let's tell the truth, which I know you're incapable of. I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth is true. Thank you. Alexis.
All right, okay, all right. Amidst your shattering grief, the mayor of your village, Tiffany Henyard, who herself is a mother to a young daughter, approaches the podium. With a chilling lack of empathy, she callously declares to the public that your daughter deserved her fate, attributing it to her supposed poor behavior. She refuses to even acknowledge your presence as you beg for justice, your voice trembling with raw pain. Is this the kind of leader you want for Dalton? Someone so cold-hearted, so detached, so corrupt that she can turn her back on a grieving mother and a tragedy of unimaginable proportions. You have the power to effect change. You deserve a leader who embodies compassion, integrity, and genuine commitment to justice. Jason House can be that change. Perhaps she can be commemorated with a grand painting, a lasting tribute to the vibrant life she should have led. Another meaningful step could be passing a law in her name that holds law enforcement accountable for using excessive and unjustified force during their encounters. And let's not ignore the true character of Tiffany Henyard, a mayor who has squandered taxpayer money on opulent luxuries like lavish trips, first-class accommodations, high-end meals, and even has taxpayers paying the salary of her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, all while neglecting the very people she was entrusted to serve. Justice for Alexis Wilson, and let's clean house for 2025.
Blessings, blessings. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. And you're here with your host, Grace Levi. I'm sorry, I still got my cotton in my ears. How you doing tonight? We wanted to start this live off on a serious note and also highlighting that today is early voting, okay? It is time to vote, Dalton and Thornton. So you know what to do. You know what to do. But while that's happening, you know, we're going to keep you focused on what has happened, you know, some things that you want to address the up and coming new body with, because there's still some concerns. Tonight, what we're going to do is go over a police story that involves this officer. And I want to talk to you guys. This is going to be a serious live, so I really want you guys to get in there and talk about it, because we're going to talk about it from both sides. Because when you hear this story of Officer Perez and what we break down to you, you're going to understand that it's two sides to this. You see me fighting every single day. Every time you turn around, I'm saying justice for Alexis, justice for Alexis. But this goes deeper. This is a systematic issue. And this man, I believe he suffered with post-traumatic stress that led him to a series of killings. So let's put this on the screen real quick, because all of this, what we talk about, actually led to this particular situation, I believe, right here.
Her family matriarch, Marion Cindy Pritzker, has died at the age of 101. She was the wife of Hyatt Hotels founder Jay Pritzker and mother to their 5.
Hold on. What did it do to me? This is supposed to have been a video about Perez. All right, let's get to, I do apologize. Let's read this. This is an article. I did believe that this was the video. I wonder how it skipped, but let's read it. Monster police officer unalive in Indiana crash involving semi. Officials say. So this took place a couple of weeks ago. The crash involved a semi and a Dodge Ram. It happened after 1 a.m. on U.S. Highway 41 South, U.S. Highway 231. All right, this was in an unincorporated place by Lake County in Indianapolis. So Monster Police Officer Ryan Perez, 31, was identified as the driver of the Dodge Ram. Police said he was unalived at the scene, were pronounced. The driver of the semi was a 41-year-old from Schererville. He was taken to the hospital for tests and was not injured. Police said Officer Perez was not on duty at the time of the crash and was driving his personal vehicle. Perez served for Monster Police for about 4 months after transferring from Illinois Police Department. So if you don't know what was happening with Perez, at that time, we basically have been on the hunt for Perez, and I'm gonna be honest. From August until now, we've been tracking Perez. And just before he went to Indiana, you do know that he was in Monster. He was in, he was in Forest Oak, if I do believe I'm saying it the right place. And we talked to them about his extensive history, and they decided not to hire him. So he went to Indiana. We were made aware of that, and I'm going to say me and Miss Carver, we did follow up, and that's also everyone who has been supporting her. Went out there to the Oakwood, and that's when Burgundy Blue went with her and let them know who he was. So when he went to Indiana, we didn't, okay, yes, she did go to Indiana. I'm trying to remember. She went to Indiana as well. And at that time, they still hired him, okay? He was hired, but he was not actively working. Just before this incident happened, about 2 weeks prior, I did call and to find out if he was actively working in Indiana, and I was made aware via public records that he didn't complete his excessive force modules, and another module he was supposed to complete. I think that Indiana Munster, they did that, and I guess to protect themselves, because they went on and hired him. So he was not actively working as far as the article, and that particular situation that we showed you took place. Now, I'm bringing this up because I want you guys to know that we did not pursue him for that particular outcome, but we pursued him for justice. And we're going to leave it at that. But I will say, I do believe that the system did fail Officer Perez as well as they failed Alexis and Ms. Carver, and they continue to fail the Dalton Police Department as well. So this is a case that took place. It actually was settled in 2022. Well, it wasn't. It was dismissed in 2022. But it took place actually in 2000, I believe, in 16, if I'm not mistaken. No, I do apologize, 18. And in this particular situation, Officer Perez was involved in a basic traffic stop. No, actually it was not. It was a car accident. And they suspected that the driver was drunk. This situation started from a basic drunken driving situation and escalated into something that was really horrendous. So I want to go over this with you guys. And I want you to get in the comments and tell me, because we're going to have to take ourselves out of the position of just being the general public. Because as I told you, we do know officers. I know officers. My uncle was a federal agent. My cousin was an officer in Haiti. So obviously you see that type of stuff goes through my bloodline. So I do understand. But I believe that it was a series of situations that took him there. And these were one of the first situations before I believe he became emboldened. Okay. Now, one of the things that I talked to, or I inquired with Dalton about via Freedom of Information request,
what was their actual follow-up procedures with excessive force cases? How did the board handle them? What was their procedures after excessive force or a deadly shooting for the officer, as far as mental health checks? And there's no policy. There is a policy, sort of, not for mental health checks, but for the excessive force board. But either way, it is non-existent because they don't have personnel to enforce that. So again, you have officers that's subjected to a lot of things, understaffed and undertrained, and some of them didn't even belong in a position, i.e. what we talked about with Tiffany, and they were on the beat, and these type of things was happening. So let me just get to this. This is Margaret, and we're gonna make sure we pronounce it. It's Margaret Aguama. Okay, so this is one of the parties that's involved in it, and well, she did it on the behalf of Solomon Aguama, and Solomon Aguama is the gentleman who is deceased at this time. Okay, so we're not going to get into the judge's opinion real quick. We're going to get straight to what happened. Okay, so this started off as a basic traffic stop. At 12:38 a.m. on March 10, 2018, police received a 911 call reporting a car crash with injuries at the intersection of Sibley. Yeah, guys, y'all know I was having issues with it. I practice. Okay, so if I mess up, just get in the comments. I reprogram my brain. In the intersection of Sibley Boulevard and Cottage Grove Avenue in Dalton, Illinois. Responding to the scene within minutes, Dalton police officers encountered two vehicles that had sustained tremendous damage. So it's tremendous damage. And they called for an ambulance. The driver of one of the cars was shaken, but was able to communicate with the officers and did not appear to have sustained any obvious injuries. The driver of the other vehicle, Solomon Aguama, was in worse shape. Okay? When the officers first approached Mr. Aguama's vehicle, a red Ford Escape operated as a taxi for the Chicago Elite Cab, he was unresponsive and appeared to be unconscious. So that says to me some type of head injury. The vehicle airbag had deployed. One of the responding officers, Officer Vincent Newsom, loudly asked Mr. Aguama if he could hear his voice, at which this point Mr. Aguama came to and immediately hunched over and vomited into the passenger seat of the vehicle. Officers then attempted to ask Mr. Aguama what he remembered before the collision. And Mr. Aguama, speaking in what was described by Officer Newsom as a heavy African accent, stated, "I don't know. He just hit me." Now, I want you guys to keep this in mind. There's two things that I think of when I hear, when he wakes up and throw up. It's either he was drunk or he suffered a brain injury. Okay? This is some of the signs of injury of a traumatic brain injury, vomiting. Now, if you're getting intracranial pressure that fast, that's what happens. So I just want to keep that in mind, okay? I'm going to read a little bit, then I'm going to get to y'all comments if y'all have something to say. But I want y'all to listen to the details of this, because this is going to really highlight the trauma that Perez went through. I'm going to be honest. Officer Perez and another Dalton police officer present at the scene peered into Mr. Aguama's vehicle and saw a plastic cup on the floor containing a residual of dark colored liquid that, according to Officer Perez, smelled like alcohol. This caused Officer Perez to suspect that Mr. Aguama was under the influence. His suspicion grew when paramedics arrived. As Mr. Aguama was being loaded into the ambulance, Officer Perez described his demeanor as disorientated and recalled that he was having a hard time answering the paramedics' questions. He also noted that Mr. Aguama's eyes was bloodshot red, and he detected a strong odor of alcohol coming off of him. Okay, so he was drinking. All right. So a Dalton police sergeant who was also present at the scene, Sergeant Johnson, who first name does not appear in the record, shimmered that Mr. Aguama appeared to be intoxicated. No field sobriety test was conducted. However, as Mr. Aguama had been placed in a clavicle collar, C-collar, by the paramedics, and his health was a concern at the point. Sergeant Johnson instructed Officer Perez to follow Mr. Aguama to the hospital and process him for suspected driving under the influence, okay? So this is how Perez got on the way to go into the hospital. So Janelle, the leading paramedic on the ambulance team, that transported Mr. Aguama to the hospital, also suspected that he may have been under the influence. In her disposition, she recalled noticing some kind of scent, maybe alcohol. I got quiet because we know alcohol. You're a paramedic at this point, so you need to get it together. Some also described Mr. Aguama as uncooperative, and she and her colleagues attempted to assess his injury. He didn't realize what was going on, and he wanted to leave. As he was being loaded into the ambulance, he tried to get off the stretcher and walk away a couple of times. Okay? So this is Miss Janelle. Miss Janelle recalled that when they asked him directly if he had been drinking, his response was sarcastic. Yeah. The ambulance left for the Advocate Crisis Medical Center at around 1:15 a.m. Okay? So in the telemetry law, the document in which received hospital records and the preliminary information and receiving from the paramedic records incoming patient, hospital staff noticed that it was unclear whether Mr. Aguama had been wearing a seatbelt at the time of the collision, that had been drinking alcohol, and that was combative but calming down. So this was some of the things that we need to know in the hospital, because that's how we kind of assess how bad the injury may be. But because he was acting this way, the first thing I already knew that they was going to want a CT. So the ambulance arrived at Advocate Crisis Medical Center at 1:26 a.m. The paramedic brought Mr. Aguama to the trauma section of the emergency room and headed him over to the hospital medical staff. The hospital staff asked the paramedics why Mr. Aguama was not backboarded all the way. And all paramedic response that he kept getting up and that they tried but could not get him to remain on the board. Mr. Aguama was placed on the hospital gurney and the paramedics departed. 4 medical professionals was present in the ER when Mr. Aguama arrived, all of whom were later disposed. So you have Valerie, an ER technician. I'm going to call her V because we don't need to say her name. V, she was an ER technician. Jolyn, I told you her name, a registered nurse assigned to the ED department that night. And Dr. Thomas, a trauma and general surgeon. And Dr. Taiwan, an ER physician, who at the time was a second-year resident, okay? So according to Ms. Jaslyn, Mr. Aguan arrived and he was drowsy and unable to maintain eye contact or answer the doctor's questions, but he was not in an agitated state. Ms. Jaslyn, Ms. J, removed Mr. Aguama clothes and placed him in the hospital gown. At 1:42, Dr. Thomas ordered Mr. Aguama to be taken to radiology for various CT tests. We already knew that was where he was supposed to go, to rule out potential head injuries, okay? So Officer Perez had followed Mr. Aguama. This is when it get a little interesting. Officer Perez has followed Mr. Aguama to the hospital, was present in the ER while Ms. J and the rest of the trauma team looked over him. At some point, Mr. Aguama was transported to the radiology department. Officer Perez handcuffed him to the gurney, told Ms. J and Mr. Aguama that Mr. Aguama was in police custody for suspected DUI and explained to her that he would have to stay alongside Mr. Aguama as they treated him. Officer Perez also administered the warning of Miranda, so he granted his Miranda right at that time. Mr. Aguama and attempted to obtain his verbal consent for blood samples. So he read his Miranda right and tried to get a consent. And I know Mr. Aguama didn't give it to him. And that was one thing that we got to get at the hospital. We can't just take his blood because the police want it. So Ms. J witnessed this exchange allegedly. According to Ms. J, while officers were trying to get yes or no answers regarding the blood sample, Dr. Thomas came in and made it clear that she wanted Mr. Aguama to get to the CT before any type of form of DUI process took place. And that's usually how the doctor is. They not about to play, especially when you don't got no court order, nothing. We not about to go through no police process. Get him to get a CT, especially because he wasn't on the gurney. Okay, saying that they could have increased his head injuries. And that's probably why he was acting a little extra crazy, but it get a little worse. So Ms. J then began to push Mr. Aguama gurney towards the CT room, and Officer Perez followed closely behind. During the walk, which lasted about a minute, Ms. J called that Mr. Aguama was calm. She said he was calm, all right? So the altercation in the CT room. This is when things got a little bit ugly. All right. So Officer Perez uncuffed Mr. Aguama in the CT room. He then left Mr. Aguama and Ms. J alone next to the scanner and stepped into the adjacent viewing room where he could continue to observe what was going on through the window. Because you can't have handcuffs or metal things in there such as that. Also, it'll cause major issues. And if it was an MRI, the MRI works like a magnet, but then like certain objects could cause a short to the CT and mess up the image. Also in the viewing room was the CT technologist named Tariq, okay? So Mr. Tariq operated the scanner control panel, and from where he sat, could see the entire CT scan room. So he was on the outside looking. So Mr. Tariq first observed Mr. Aguama begin being wheeled into the position next to the scanner. He recalled him being perfectly calm. The CT machine that the medical staff plan on using was one that often used for pediatric patients. All right. Why would they put a grown man in a pediatric one? Okay. While it was the same size as the typical CT machine, the ring around the tube where the patients entered the machine was painted with monkey faces. Oh. Ms. J prepared Mr. Aguama for his scan. She was assisting in the task by the CT technician, and Dr. Thomas has described as well. Mr. Aguama also was calm, quiet when he first arrived for the CT scan. His first impression was that Mr. Aguama was a cooperative patient. Ms. J, Mr. Aguama, Dr. O'Daniels were the only people in the CT room at that time. As Ms. J and Dr. O'Daniel, Mr. O'Daniels attempt to transfer Mr. Aguama from the hospital gurney onto the CT bed, Mr. Aguama appeared to be startled, like he woke up, and his demeanor shifted. He stepped off the gurney and repeatedly asked Ms. J, where is his clothes? Ms. J sternly directed Mr. Aguama to get back on the gurney, but he did not comply. He then ripped off his cervical collar and tossed it on the floor. Ms. J recalled that he became combative and made it clear to her that he wanted to leave the room. Ms. J testified that at this point, she became concerned about her personal safety. She explained in her disposition that she remembered Mr. O'Delly calling Officer Perez back in the room to help to deal with Mr. Aguama. But she acknowledged that it was possible she was one of the one who called Officer back in the room. They both was calling for help. Okay? Things started to light up here. Now imagine yourself being an officer, most likely a rookie too. He started in 2026, But the last gentleman was the first one, okay? Was the first gentleman that actually Officer Perez unalived, okay? Which was Dante Johnson. And we read that to you. And this is the second one, okay? He's the second person. This is the second person that he's involved in this person being unalived. All right, so they both called him back in the help, and he said, okay, let's get it. Ms. J testified that at this point, she became concerned for her safety. Okay, Mr. Aguama, hold on. Okay, so she said she don't know if she acknowledged that she called Officer back for assistance. According to Officer Perez, Ms. J looked at him at the moment with a scared look on her face, like, come help me. I bet you she did. Observe Mr. Aguama suddenly shift in demeanor from the viewing point, and Mr. Thomas also recalled feeling fearful for the safety of those around him. That's the doctor. He described Mr. Aguama as a really big guy, but was suddenly on his feet, naked, loud, and agitated. Okay, so Mr. McDaniels didn't know what to expect and felt helpless. After Mr. Aguama tossed his seat collar to the ground, Mr. Edwin recalled that he began yelling something about voodoo magic. According to Mr. McDaniels, this is the, because his name is Ekhoptid. They call him Ekhoptid, but it's McDaniels. They got McDaniels or Ekhoptid. Mr. Ekhoptic or McDaniels. So I'll stick with Mr. McDaniels. All right. So Mr. Aguama was pointing at everyone in the room and saying, I'll put voodoo on you, or something like that. Other witnesses also recall Mr. Aguama referencing to voodoo at that moment. All right. So what do you think just right there at this point is going through Officer Perez's head, is going through everybody's head inside of this hospital at this point? And I'm going to tell you, I understand by being in situations similar, not like this. No, that's a lie. The person never ended up dead in the end, but there were times that we had to call security and have them hold people down while we gave ejections, because they was ready to fight everybody, ready just to knock everybody's heads off. So it's a really traumatic event. And that's why I have an understanding and sympathy for what Mr. Perez went through and what the other officers go through that's not being looked at as well and being underpaid, because this shit do cause post-traumatic stress. I don't want to go back to nursing because of shit like this and it not being handled right. And if the person would have died with me being in a room like this, I would have quit nursing a long time ago. I would have told you this. So this right here, I believe, took place under Dalton, and I believe it was not addressed. Okay, let's keep going. So you got naked man yelling voodoo, talking about I'm gonna put voodoo on y'all. Everybody, they losing control of the whole situation. Now this is when it turns up. It turns up. Officer Perez entered the CT scan room in a matter of seconds and ordered Mr. Aguama to get back on the gurney. According to Officer Perez's testimony, Mr. Aguama ignored his verbal command to get back on the cart. He attempted to get he said he attempted to get handcuffed back on Mr. Aguama. Mr. Aguama pulled away from the officer, at which point Officer Perez threatened to tase Mr. Aguama if he did not comply. Mr. Aguama did not comply. Officer Perez then discharged his taser towards Mr. Aguama in driving stun mode. So we talked about that stun gun thing prior, okay? We're not going to get in detail. But this time, I think it's warranted because this man is a little bit bonkers. So Mr. O'Delly and Mr. Ekhoptid recollections were similar to Officer Perez, according to Mr. O'Delly. Next thing I knew, the officer came in demanding the patient calm down. The patient did not calm down. The officer threatened him with the taser, and it went from there. Mr. Akhaba also testified that Officer Perez first tased Mr. Aguama after the initial warning. So they trying to let them know like they warned them. So Ms. J testified differently slightly, while Officers Perez and Mr. Howe and Mr. O'Delly all recall the taser being deployed after the verbal warning and prior to any significant physical contact with Officer Perez and Mr. Aguama. Ms. J claimed in her disposition that even before using the taser, Officer Perez was already engaged in physical struggle with Mr. Aguama. Now, this is according to the nurse, which includes the officer delivering at least one punch. One of the other witnesses recalled the pre-taser punch. So it seemed like a tussle happened before the taser, okay? So another difference is that Ms. J directly remembers that Mr. Aguama advanced towards Officer Perez as soon as the officers re-entered the room and ordered him to back on the cart. She recalled Mr. Aguama fast-paced walking towards Officer Perez in a confrontational manner. Whatever story is true right now, this is a wild story, okay? Could you imagine being in this situation? We really got to open our eyes to what people face. According to Officer Perez, after drive stunning Mr. Aguama for the first time without success, he was given an additional warning and then drive stunned him a second time. And then he backed up. Told Mr. Aguama he was going to be tased again, at which point he continued to discharge. Officer Perez commanded. Officer Perez then discharged his taser for a third time. But this time, instead of using drive mode, he pulled the trigger and fired the cartridge at Mr. Aguama. So he like, bump it. I'm going to shoot you from across here because you are crazy. So he already tased him twice. Don't forget this man is butt naked. Just remember that. Just butt naked. All right, so let's keep going. The taser prong lodged in Mr. Aguama's torso. Officer Perez recalled that upon firing his taser, Mr. Aguama charged him with his arms out. After the taser cartridge was fired, Ms. J recalled Mr. Aguama pinning Officer Perez up against the wall and putting his hands in the officer's vest. I gotta be quiet for that. That is really traumatizing. She further recalled Officer Perez repeatedly telling Mr. Aguama, don't do this, while pushing up against the wall. Officer Perez punched Mr. Aguama several times in the head. Several times, Mr. O'Delly counted about 5 to 10 strikes in Mr. Aguama's face and back and head. At some point, either immediately before or during the physical struggle, Mr. Aguama had shed his clothes. It was now fully naked. I told you, he'd been naked because he only had a gown on, I would assume. With witnesses also noted Mr. Aguama had urinated on the floor, although it was unclear exactly when this happened. Mr. Aktaba compared the scene he was witnessing to something out of The Incredible Hulk. Mind you, tased 3 times, still fighting. He's fighting because there's more than one person on him, and he still ended up pinning Officer Perez and throwing him against the wall. And prior to this, talking about, I'm going to do voodoo on you. So he compared it to The Incredible Hulk scene, and he recalled Mr. Aguama just would not go down and seemed barely affected by the tasing and the punching. He recalled that soon after Mr. Aguama had moved on Officer Perez, which he interpreted as an attempt to grab his taser, and Officer Perez began punching Mr. Aguama in response. The two fell to the ground and ended up in the wrestling match. Y'all know what's on the floor, right? He speculated that it's possibly that's how they slipped on Mr. Aguama's urine. Jay recalled security, who arrived shortly after the two hit the floor. Tom, a nurse working nearby, heard Miss J call for assistance, which he describes as frantic, and he dropped what he was doing to get to the CT scan room. All right. So Mr. Taiwan, working with another patient elsewhere in the hospital, recalled a nurse coming up to him and telling him, "Your patient went berserk in the CT." And he tore off his C-collar and attacked the cop. In response, Dr. Taiwan ordered the preparation of a sedative and hurried to the CT room. You see, with the nurse on the side, us running down there telling us we gotta handle him, get in the middle of that and get medicine. I'm traumatized reading this, y'all. Okay? The first hospital security officer to arrive at the room with Andre Walker. The first thing Walker saw upon entering the CT room was Mr. Aguama on top of Perez. So by the time they got down there, he already got the best of Perez. He recalled that Officer Perez had Mr. Aguama in somewhat of a headlock, and Mr. Walker jumped into a fray and put Mr. Aguama in an armbar so that Officer, could get back on his feet. Mr. Walker and Officer Perez then worked together to get Mr. Aguama face on the ground and to put him in handcuffs. Mr. Walker recalled that for a time, they were trying to regain control of him. Officer Perez has his knee on Aguama's back. The nurse then injected Mr. Aguama in the buttocks with a sedative ordered by Dr. Taiwan. After the sedative took effect, Officer Perez and hospital security staff, Mr. Walker and the two other security officers who arrived after him, picked up Mr. Aguama up and put him back on a gurney, where they placed him in restraints. At this point, it's a give or take. When he's already in sedative, that's a double restraint. That is against the law. I know we just heard everything you heard, but as a nurse, and I know in my position, we wasn't supposed to do that. Maybe a soft restraint, but whatever. I'm gonna move forward because he was already sedated, but I hate restraints, y'all, but sometimes we be needing it. According to Mr. Walker, the whole sequence from the moment he entered to the room until the moment when Mr. Aguama was secured lasted between 5 to 8 minutes. Shortly after Mr. Aguama was sedated and put back on the gurney, Dr. Thomas, the admitting trauma doctor, because there was two doctors there, okay? And I think it was McDaniels too. It was two doctors. It was a primary, which is the ED, and the specialist. And the specialist ordered the CT for him. So when he went buck wild, the specialist went down there. The primary was the one that was in the ED. So y'all heard me say two doctors' names. So Dr. Thomas was the specialist. So she noticed, so this is when she noticed that Mr. Aguama was no longer breathing. The doctor noticed it, not the nurse, because not the nurse like she's supposed to take the vitals every 5 minutes after giving sedated. Oh no, that's a daggone lie. 2 to 3 minutes, especially when you give a large injection. I know it ain't a drip, but regardless, the doctor figured it out. I know I'm supposed to be complaining about the hospitals here, but y'all already see what time I'm on. That's why I retired from the bedside, because this type of shit. Been involved in it. I have sympathy for the officers, so I want you guys to understand when I continue to pursue the other officers involved in this Alexis Wilson case, do not think that I don't have sympathy. I do think that they need services, they need benefits, and they need help, and they need to be paid well, especially for shit like this.
All right. I said a lot. So what we're going to do is get to one more portion, because in a little while I'll be getting ready to go to the Alexis Butterfly release in person. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. This is a replay of my investigation of the Alexis Wilson case and some of the things that I have uncovered. We involving the police. One officer is unalive and the other one is still being paid by the city of Dalton through workers' compensation, $3,000 a month. Okay, so let's see if we can find one more good one where we're going to get to know Officer Carlton and see how that works out for us. We're going to see a little bit more of bad behavior when it comes to what's going on in Dalton. Even now, this story continues now because the same police department is under fire because they haven't investigated a wrongful death that just happened most recently connected to an elected official boss. Like, this is still continuing right this second. So let me see. They lied, the Alexis update. Let's see what we can look at. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. Let's see. Carlton, Officer Carlton. Let me go onto my page. Because we highlighted Officer Perez, but I do have information about Officer Carlton that I want to share with you guys. And this is the officer right now, as I mentioned, that is being paid by the residents out here in the South Side while he's not being an officer. All right, so let's see. Bear with me. I'm trying to actually see if I can find the video. We gotta scroll down. Are you guys having a great day today? Let me know. And to the audience who are used to me talking about politics, and Trump, I did tone down from that because, again, I'm not going to continue to stress myself every 2 minutes chasing flash news because of this administration and all of the crazy things they're doing every 2 seconds to people. But I will update you on significant things, okay, that I find significant. So I'm trying to, let me see. Carlton, Jared Carlton. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I'm wondering why I'm having a little. This is the last video I want to share with you guys before we get up out of here. And if you don't know Cop Watch, that's 26 videos. Let's see, let's just go to all the Dalton videos. Again, thank you for being here. Epstein. Have a lot. What I'm looking at is the playlist, if y'all don't know. I'm looking at my playlist right now, and I'm going to end up going to, I believe, the Dalton video, Free Dalton. I have over 220 videos of this particular town and all of the crazy things that was going on related to this mayor. So let's see if I can pull up something about Officer Perez while we watch a little clip of Hinyard, the mayor, who actually was the catapult of a lot of this issue.
And did you know that in Cook County, Illinois, to hold this office there, you have to be a resident in that jurisdiction. So you were the mayor until May 4th of 2025, but yet you're saying you became a resident of Georgia May 1st of 2025.
And this is a Mayor Hinyard who's trying to get a position out here in Atlanta right now. So she actually left Dalton after losing, and now she's out here. Well, where I'm from, I'm not in Atlanta right now, but she's actually out in Atlanta trying to run for a position. Okay, so let's see. Jared Carlton. Let's watch a little bit about Jared Carlton a little bit. And I think we show some of the videos that I got from the Freedom of Information request. And we're going to start to close off this live. I want to say thank you so much for being here with Miss Grace. I appreciate you. And I hope you're having a great afternoon and the weather is clearing up for you like it is for us. Shout out to Ezekiel. This is his music. Sorry.
For Thornton Township.
2025.
So those elections at the same time.
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Let's take it from the top. Hold on.
Bullshit.
Right here.
Smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you say 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021.
No, 2013 was my first election
2013.
for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
The council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Terms 4 years.
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election.
I'm running for both my seats, and I'm gonna win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time.
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Okay, next.
A bullshit.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
What we gonna do, y'all? Shut shit down. Blessings, blessings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. And you're here with your host, Grace Levi. Love you guys. Thank you for being with me today. I'm sorry for my delay. I had a lot to get together. You know, I like to do deep dives. So I wanted to provide you with some information, just a little bit of information, a little bit of updates on a few of Tiffany Henyard case, and we're gonna get to it. Over the last couple of weeks, I was here bringing and everything. I was like, yo, God, slow this down. That shit hit hard. Much more to the general public about the Alexis Wilson case. I wanted to reveal some of the findings that I have retrieved, as well as what Mom has released to me to help me do my investigation. I say quote unquote investigation because I am not an investigator. I'm not a licensed investigator. I just love to research, and I know how to look for issues, and I know how to follow rules, and I use and put that in letter form. So that has been helping me. So what we're going to do today is give you an update on Tiff court cases, just a few, and then we're going to get into what's happening in Dalton, because Tiffany has been brought to your attention, and we're going to show other content creators tonight. I'm going to say a shout out to Hannibal, and as well as a shout out to Martin G. They both released videos this week that were directly related to Alexis Wilson. Miss Cara's baby girl and my particular baby girl. I'm just gonna be honest. I love her so much, and that's what gives me the drive to keep going. So if you don't know about who they were talking about, we're gonna flash back and show you, and then you're gonna put two and two together, and then you're gonna see what we've been doing. Today, I'm going to divulge more information about the officer who actually did the killing, who actually did the shooting. And one of the things that I wanted to show you today was a verification of his status. So we're gonna go over that status, meaning employment status with Dalton. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into that. So before we do that, I'm just gonna put this on the screen real quick. Let me see, can I put it up there? This is a few of the court cases that Tiffany still have pending. The good thing is that the list is getting smaller, y'all. The list is getting smaller, so they are settling some things. As announced by the news, Tiffany Hilliard case was dismissed against the trustees for allegedly trying to take her power. So let me find that real quick. I really was. There's so much information with the Alexis Wilson situation that I didn't want to divulge too much, and I had to make sure that I lose case against the trustee. I want to make sure that I didn't show too much because it is very graphic. I'm going to make you aware of that. It is very graphic. So, but I'm not going to show you the things that will, how can I say, disrespect the family or anything that's undignified. How about that? Okay. All right, let's just pull this on the screen real quick. Judges dismiss mayor lawsuit against Dalton trustees. Now, this was the one this was 3 days ago. Now, I'm still trying to play catch up, y'all, because I was told it was Thornton. So I'm gonna look at the comments and y'all let me know, because I'm coming off of my work week. Okay, still playing catch up. So this is what I'm aware of. The judges dismissed mayor lawsuit against Dalton trustees, and we're gonna play that. And I think I do have that case information up. Let's play it. I do.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's what I said. Hilliard's lawsuit against the village trustees has been dismissed. Hilliard accusing the trustees of conspiring to take away her authority to appoint a new police chief, village administrator, and village attorney after trustees sued to block Hilliard from making those decisions. The judge dismissed the case after no one from Hilliard's legal team showed up to a hearing.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I wanted to show you guys. And I think I got it pulled up somewhere else. Hold on one second. I wanted to show you guys. What is that?
Exactly. So.
Let's get that off the screen. We're gonna go into Cook County Court information so we could just give y'all an update of what's going on with Hilliard the bird. And I want to say thank you for being with us today. I appreciate you. You could be anywhere, baby, but you're here with Corny Grace Levi. Look, let's get it. We're gonna get this fact. We're gonna get these facts, and this better not mess up on me. All right, cool. Let's put it on the screen because the other time I was trying to get on Cook County website for this. So this is the active cases. It's not that many. These are some old ones, so we're gonna disregard. But I believe that this was the lawsuit Hilliard. This is the Park District. This is, I believe this is the one. Yes, so this was the one as what they talked about in the news broadcast, dismissed for want of prosecution. So basically, what ended up happening is that the plaintiff, Tiffany, they, like you said, they didn't show up. They didn't provide the information. It shows that Tiffany is continuously filing fraudulent lawsuits. And I do believe, in my opinion, that the adults and trustees should find a way to go after Tiffany to make her pay for her own litigation, especially when it comes to these type of cases where it has no warrant or no merit.
So the one again with the Park District, that's the one I want to see if it's still active. I think it comes up in March because we still keeping. No, she had a declaratory judgment on that one. That was a couple of weeks ago. That was. Hold on. Yes, that was a couple of weeks ago. And then I was still trying to figure out why is the court date that was scheduled for 3/20. It's an open call. So you can see that there. We're gonna pause But this the real judgment quick, guys, because right here is when I'm giving the audience an update about what's happening with the mayor, all the cases that she's involved in, and this is the particular mayor, Mayor Hilliard, who left the south side of Chicago, and now she's in Fulton County, Atlanta, running for commissioner right now in my area, okay? Yeah, just follow me. You know, everything rests for a reason, but we're going to get to Officer Carlton's portion of this, okay? And I want to say thank you guys for joining me, and please pray for us because we have a little delay with the Alexis Wilson butterfly release. There was a tornado that happened out here, guys, honestly. It's so weird, just to give y'all a heads up. I just talked to Mama Carver. There's been a tornado out here in the area, like hit out of nowhere. And a lot of things are damaged. She showed me pictures of buildings that's damaged and everything. And while that was happening, we've been streaming. But before that, when it started, I actually was praying, like, God, I feel like when there's thunderstorms and stuff like that that breaks out of nowhere, I feel like it's a spiritual element. Maybe the witches are playing, or maybe the angels and the demons are fighting. So I pray for clarity. The sun is coming out right now, so hopefully we can change the location and see what happens tonight. So Grace Levi can actually attend the butterfly release, but if not, it may be rescheduled, guys. But let's just get to what's going on with Officer Carlton. You get to know who he is, and you'll understand my plight and why I'm still pursuing him. I hope this live is giving you guys a comprehensive breakdown of Project Alexis that we have been pursuing. Losing money, and then you're losing people coming over. Maybe we're watching now. I'm just being honest because of all the hype, but you want to make sure that businesses want to come in. Now, I will say what we saw with St. Patrick's, baby, that place was packed. I would give it to y'all. That actually looked nice. I don't have a picture of St. Patrick's right now, but I will have to concede on that one. That one looked nice and turned up. So if y'all can't bring more businesses in here, and make sure that people like this one don't use the police to, run down on them. Y'all may continue to build businesses like St. Patrick, because I'm gonna have to concede on just a little bit. St. Patrick really made our day, right? And then put that sign out about tip, like, baby, we're not doing that. Okay, so I will get to y'all comments. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate you guys. So what we're gonna do now, since we addressed how we're consulting, the key factors, what I want to show you now is video from Officer Carlton. These are sections of videos. What I want is the full video uncut up. I have 3 sections of his body cam that's cut up. And I do believe when it's cut up and not consecutive, that is things that's missing. That's why my goal is to not only receive the information from Dalton, but the Illinois State Police. Because you can't have an adequate case if you can't compare and contrast, especially when you know 2 agencies that actually did the investigation. And that is some of the things that we're going to address too, the investigation. At the end of this, if you make it to the end, and I pray that you do, we do have a picture. And I will say, it's not going to be the best picture, but we have to show you guys how they handled Lexi. And I'm going to give y'all some laws and some procedures that they were supposed to do in the middle of this incident. And it's going to directly relate to this picture, and you see what they did not do. Okay? So, let's get to it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. It take a lot out of me. They really do. Sending love and blessings to Miss Carver. I did tell her, I always wore her. And I will tell you, we have an amazing relationship, and I made sure that she knows exactly what I'm releasing, so she won't be shocked, because as a mother, she has not watched these videos. So this is how serious it is. If you put yourself in her situation, it is hard. And she has given me the right to release whatever I need to to get this information out and to change the tone. So I'm trying to do it with discretion, with respect, and with dignity, okay? So this is Officer Carlton body cam. This gentleman right here is allegedly Alexis' boyfriend, who they told to get out the car. He got out the car. Lexi did not get out the car. The reason why she stated she did not get out the car, she was not properly dressed. One of the factors that we're going to highlight, not in this episode, but do some detailed review of, that there was a woman police officer there that was on the outside of where he was at and did not intervene. Okay, that's a fact that I need you guys to be aware of. So let's watch this real quick, this short 30-second clip, and I'm gonna slow it down because I know it's gonna go pretty fast. So bear with me. All right. So this is Lexi in the car, her boyfriend outside, and this is Officer Carlton. This is the shooter. So we're watching. This is the one that got dragged. Let's see.
Go back here and talk about it.
So right here, again, and we got to break this down. You have to remember, because we're going to show you the picture of Baba's. So she's at the drive-thru. They told her to wait. So when they thought she had a gun, or allegedly they called the police. They told her to wait because they messed up her order. So she never thought that the police was coming. When they showed up, it was a surprise to her because there were never a gun. The people who allegedly reported a false report from Baba's knew it wasn't a gun, because if it was a gun, you wouldn't say, wait right here and walk away and call the police. So let's keep this in. Not only that she says she's not dressed, and these male officers should not be even approaching her when she's saying that, and then you have a female officer there, realistically, she can't get out. The door will not even open more than 2 feet. And that's something that we can show you in Officer Perez's video and the other video that we're going to bring up. But we're not doing Officer Perez body shot today. Do it when we do our special on him. But this is Officer Carlton, the shooter. This is when Perez punches Lexi. I'm going to stop pausing and I'm going to let y'all watch this straight through for the last 8 seconds because they broke this down. Now you see right here, I'm slowing it down and we're moving forward. We're going to play it slowly because you can see Officer Carlton get into the car right here. And then he's literally lunging into the car. You can see his body cam right there. And everything goes black. And we're going to watch it. So I had to show you this. Let's play it. He said he was outside of the car being dragged. Let's play it. This is a cut up body cam. So as I told you, I'm not totally satisfied with what I had. And that's why I've been so skeptical to show what I show until I get the full. But now we're going to show you the other part of whatever they're trying to show us of him inside. Okay. Now this is allegedly 1 minute and 9 seconds of him hanging out the car or being inside. And you guys is going to have to be the jury. You're going to make the determination tonight. What's going on here? Let me make sure I put it on a speed that you guys can see it, and we're going to play it. Now, I apologize for the noise because I'm going to turn it down, but this is Officer Carlton inside of a Lexi car. Is either he inside or he being dragged. You guys got to let me know. So you hear him? Now, this is the part. It's something missing. This is part 2 they sent me. Well, I retrieved that I got. That first part shows him, you see him, the body cam getting close to the seat. And now all of a sudden, it's just like a whole part missing of the driving, okay, of the shooting, of the boom, 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 the shots. It's missing. And that's why I'm upset. So, excuse me. This part shows him after the crash, I believe. Okay? So let's play this. And that's why I'm upset, and that's why I take my time, and that's why I've been kind of skeptical of putting things out, because I want to pull a full picture. But we're just going to show you what we're working with. Now you can see the building. He's crushed under the building. Now, I would assume that he probably would have a fractured leg, because when you look at the crash, we're going to show you again that half of the car on his side was inside of the building. So it came down, and I would have some leg injuries from that. But that's where I believe he got his injuries, and I don't believe he was dragged. We have some more pictures of Officer Perez's clothes. And you can tell me, was he dragged or not dragged, okay? All right, so that's part two. And as I told you, when you look at these two, something's missing. So I do want to clarify, this black screen is what they showed me. This was the part of the body cam that I was able to retrieve from Officer Carlton's body cam. Okay, guys? So if it's black here, it's not because the screen is messed up. It's because of what they showed. So the first part was him jumping into the car, and the second part was allegedly him in the car. But what is missing, as I mentioned, is the 7 shots. It just automatically jumps to him being under the building. We don't hear the crash or anything. So this is where I'm disillusioned, because I'm missing good portions of this investigation footage. The shots fired is missing. And that's what I wanted to get. So let me show you the third part that we got from his body cam. And it shows a little bit more. Hold on. Is this the one? No, it's still showing him breathing. I think I have one where it was the investigator video, where they show him being taken out the car some way, somewhat, but his piece is missing. And the reason why I'm showing you this, because what I'm going to read to you is policy and procedures via Dalton that they're supposed to follow. And you have to let me know, did they follow them, okay? So let me see. This is on the screen. Let me put it on the screen so y'all can see the last video while I find the other video of you seeing them take him out of the car. They zoom in. So, as you can see, there's a lot of manipulation to this video. I know it's dark, but what happens in this particular section, it zooms into whatever object that is on the screen. So we're missing the totality of whatever is in this footage. Suspect down. Get me out of the car. Now give me 1 second, because I had so much that I knew I was going to misplace this. So that's why I kept this up. This is Myers' investigation. and Myers investigation, and that's going to be part of the series. We're going to, okay. Now, let's show you some pictures. Show you what the officers did to pull him out the car. These are the pictures, okay? Blessings. Yes, some critical footage is missing. Thank you, status quo. Yes, it is a lot. So, these are the pictures. We're going to show you some.
Please support the channel by hitting the like button, guys. Thank you.
This is one. What I'm going to have to do is remove this off the screen real quick. You're going to see me click back and forth because I can't not show y'all things that I'm not going to show y'all. I'm sorry. I love y'all, but not more than I love Carver. All right, so this is the car. I need you guys to pay attention. This is something that I'm going to show y'all later, okay?
So let's pause right here. Just 1 second, guys. I want y'all to see a little portion. If y'all didn't see it, that blanket, the blanket in the car was actually Alexis. They never pulled her out of the car to render care. As I mentioned to you guys, they left her in there and just put a white blanket over her.
Because I know y'all didn't see something. This is not what I want to show. I don't want to show this one. Thank you, Jesus. No, not yet.
Some of the pictures are very horrific, so I couldn't show all of them.
Bear with me, guys. No. We're not doing that. This is very touchy for me. It's very touchy for Cara. That's why I told her not to look at this until, and that's why I'm being very selective of what I show. So I just had to put that down because there's some pictures that I don't want to show you guys that. All right, cool. Let me see. What's this?
See if I fast forward a little bit.
All right, let me stick to the plan. All right, sorry guys. I'm not going to get distracted. I have to be very, very careful with this. All right, so now what I'm going to show you, what y'all saw right now was the officer body cam inside, him crashing into the car, and I want to show you his alleged injuries, okay? Did y'all get to see, y'all saw the building, right? He's supposed to have been under the building. These are some pictures of his injuries. Allegedly, he has a fractured ankle, and you're going to see it swollen. But you won't see any other injuries outside of that, in my fucking opinion. And I got to be honest. This is his leg. This is the officer's leg. This officer, as a registered nurse, what they have here is blood pressure machine. They have a Doppler, and the Doppler is to check his pulse. This has to be hours after the injury. His color, he has normal color in circulation. It is not blue. It is not black. Even when you get punched in the face, it's blue and black. You can see the swelling here in his ankle, but you don't see any more injuries anywhere else. We're going to show you because this man been on medical leave since 2021 on the backs of Dalton residents. Okay, let's get it. Let me remove this one. I want to make sure that I'm going to show y'all everything I want to show y'all. I have to have it up here a certain way so I don't. Now this is another picture of him. Sorry, y'all. We're going to see him. They like, is she Doctor? They can't.
They just know that this is a citizen's investigation in real time, and I thank you guys for watching it. This is what I've been going through for the last 4 years, trying to get the truth behind the situation and make sure that Dalton are protected and know the truth.
Can't get me because I ain't showing no face, but we're going to show you laying up in the bed with your fake injuries. So this is Officer Carlton, the shooter. This is his leg. This is a suntan. There's no injuries, but the swollen ankle. This is a Doppler. Doppler is to check his pulse. We're going to get to his clothes as well. Let me see if there's any more different type of picture I can show you to show you his injury. Here you go. Let's give you a close-up. They really took a close-up of this, like this man deserved to be on medical leave since 2021. and he's not working. This is supposed to be his injury. The Doppler, they use this Doppler. This is gel so they can hear his pedal pulse. Injuries. This is the injuries that you guys are paying for after he allegedly murdered Alexis. We're going to take that off, take that off. Now we're going to show you, okay, I showed you the full leg. And now we're going to show you his clothes. Now for someone to be dragged, you have to determine, was he dragged or was he inside the car? This is Officer Carlton's pants, okay? This is the outside of his pants. This is one side, okay? We're gonna remove that. I think that was a good picture to show y'all. And we have some pictures of the inside, the front. Now remember, he's supposed to have significant injuries. Do you see the way the car crashed into that building? Did you hear that he told the report that he was dragged? This is the product of being dragged down the street. While what we showed you before, Officer Perez, Mr. Rhinestone Cowboy, that's the one who punched Alexis. Let's just put him back on the screen. While his partner, this is Officer Perez. This is the one that was shooting at the car, the last video that I showed y'all. We can go back to Officer Perez's video to show you him shooting at a moving vehicle that allegedly had his partner being dragged. This is his partner pants. Does this look like the pants of someone who's being dragged? We have another angle. Let's put it on the screen. We have to show the validity of this investigation and also show how amazing this woman did in her investigation as well, because the Illinois State Police is under her. She the one that wrote a letter and said that this man should not be charged. Yeah, I kept your picture up there because I knew one day I'm gonna have to show your face. They don't love y'all. They don't love y'all. This shit is a political ploy. Let's keep it moving. Does these look like the pants of somebody who was dragged? Do I have to show more? I do have a few more pictures. Let's show one more angle of Perez pants just being dirty. Officer Carlton, the shooter, pants that was dragged. Okay. We have a serious dilemma here. And as I mentioned, if you did not hear, that was the only Freedom of Information request that was not answered by Dalton. Was Carlton still receiving compensation, workers' compensation for this injury that I'm showing you guys? So we got our eyes on Officer Carlton as well as Officer Perez. So we're introducing you to Officer Carlton. All right.
Now, what I want to show you
Let's see if we got more to show you guys
is,
before we get off of here.
one picture.
Okay.
And this was a picture that flashed in my head when I came from Dalton. After I heard all of the fucked up things that Missy was doing, other people around was doing to the residents. And you remember that first video that I came back from, y'all know some of the people who've been following me from the beginning that keep up with the mess. I was like, I know what's going on. I know, and y'all better tell on each other. That's when people started plotting against me. It's because of this picture. I woke up in the middle of the night with this picture and another picture that I will not show y'all on my mind. And this is why we post butterflies for Lexi. They took many disturbing pictures of my baby girl. Disturbing pictures that I will not show you. But allegedly, and this was stated by Jedediah, that officer, or a few of the officers, and I want to make sure I say the right name, and I believe it's Staples, I believe, and this is allegedly, was floating pictures around of Miss Carver's daughter. Not only this picture, but pictures that you won't imagine. in their cell phones. I did make a freedom request, information request for that, but that's something that they don't have and they won't give me unless the shit was subpoenaed, and I knew it. But because there's rumors going around and other people know about that, I do pray that they follow up with these particular officers who allegedly was spreading pictures around of Lexi body in their phone. This is one of the pictures that made me say, fuck everybody. Because this could be me and y'all will bury me and not care. This is what gives me fire. I just wanted to show y'all one picture of Lexi. But now I just want to go back before we get into a few of the laws, because y'all may have not noticed this. The way they handled Lexi's body was against protocol and not only disrespect. But I do want y'all to relook at this picture. This is after Officer Carlton got pulled out of the car. Please tell me, what do you see here? What do you see here? You see Lexi. You see Lexi.
And you also see the car seat down. As I mentioned, that's where they pull Officer Carlton over or around her body.
I showed it long enough.
So, with that being said, I think I gave you guys a comprehensive breakdown of the investigation, some of the things that has happened in the past that is bringing us up to date. I think it clarified a lot of what I was talking about yesterday. If you would like to see, these videos that I do have, there's 2 playlists. One is Cop Watch, and that has a lot of the videos that took place with the cops acting up in Dalton and other content that deals with watching behavior. And also the Alexis unaliving. Check those 2 playlists out. You'll get to know more. I will be following up and letting you guys know what happened with my last ditch effort to get Officer Carlton off of the payroll in Dalton, Illinois, while he sits there on workers' compensation, basking in misery. And I pray for his soul that he doesn't end up like his partner. So with that being said, I love you guys. You should see me go live tonight one more time, wherever we end up to celebrate Lexi's legacy. That's where we're going to end up. There's a lot going on right now. It was a tornado that hit witchcraft, allegedly, in my opinion. It hit really hard. Buildings have been knocked down, trees. I have pictures. So the butterfly release is postponed. I pray that the butterflies last as long as they need to, because we have real live butterflies to release. Also, today was supposed to be the unrevealing of the scholarship that was dedicated in honor to Alexis Wilson and what she was supposed to go into is hair school. That gentleman's name is Mr. Amico. The people from the South Side know who Mr. Amico is. He has hair school out here, and he will be given a full scholarship in love and memory of Alexis. So most likely that's going to possibly be happening on Wednesday, and I won't be out here for it. But tonight we will end up somewhere where we can celebrate Lexi's legacy. So with that goes to say, I love you guys. I'll be live again, and we're going to give you the kind of spin-off of this tragedy that led to another tragedy in Dalton. As I mentioned, it's been an international basketball player who was unalive in Dalton. Most recently, this same police station who I've been talking about that was under Tiffany Henyard, they have new leadership, and they were supposed to investigate that death, and they have not charged the man who killed them. There's a lot of politics that involve that situation, because these public officials who I was trying to expose throughout this, they're still in position. The guy who unalived the international basketball player is actually an entrepreneur, and he brought up a lot of business, and he's connected to the elected officials that I've been trying to expose. So this community they basically didn't recover from this. And I pray for them, because both sides of the political field is rotten to me. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a separatist. And I separate from the BS and I choose God first. Please hit the like button. Just give me one like, just to tell the algorithm you don't like me or something. And if you believe in Messiah, Yeshua, this is for you.